Hey guys, so giving you a little roundup of things that have been happening here in Kechara Forest Retreat this past week. I hope you guys enjoyed that video on Tuesday between myself and a very old friend of mine, Veronica Di Rosario, who is an educational psychologist based in London. We talked about how life has changed for her in London based on phone notifications. I'll talk about that in a second. So we talked about how life has changed for her and how work has changed for her in London given their stay in place, shelter in place measures, and talked about how she's continuing to deliver work, how she is able to work from home and continuing to meet her objectives as an educational psychologist and delivering services to the kids that she's helping. What has been happening this week? We are slowly starting to wind down our online programs, as you may have guessed or may have noticed, and starting to transition over to a different kind of timetable. There are many things that are planned and scheduled for you guys so that you can continue to connect with KFR, continue to connect with Kechara, and continue to learn, add to your knowledge and add to your practice from where you are at home. So there's very interesting schedule of events planned for you guys, which will be announced soon. Doing some finalizing and some tweaks on that. We've been getting back into writing, so doing much more writing over the last week. Interestingly, this is the week that my phones and my laptop decided to die on me, so that's why you can see I'm using the desktop behind me, because my laptop decided it's not going to play ball. So I spent the last 2 days trying to figure out how to sort it out. I think I finally managed to find a solution, but let's see. Fingers crossed, prayers to Dorji Shukden that it will be repaired successfully. As for my phones, what are you going to do, right? I think the last 50 days of movement control order has been pretty interesting. I'm not sure about you guys, but for me at least, I found it quite interesting, quite a different experience, I would say. I mean, I'm used to staying in Kechara Forest Retreat for long periods of time and not go out and not travel here and there. That's something that I've been doing for years already. But it's different when you have the option to go out and you choose not to, versus when you don't have the option to go out, right? So even if I wanted to leave Kechara Forest Retreat, I'm risking arrest, risking a fine, risking a summons, ticket, court case, whatever. So it's very different when you can't go out. Finding ways to continue to work, and I mean, I'm normal, so finding ways to continue to entertain myself, that's been quite interesting, quite a challenge. And talking to all of you guys about your experiences at home and how you've been coping, that has also been very, very interesting. I think once we start opening up, not we as in Kechara, but like once the world starts opening up again, it's going to be a very, very different world that we go back into. I mean, you're talking about all kinds of new SOPs that we've never had to deal with before, in order to continue to keep us safe, because I really don't think that, COVID-19, the virus, or SARS-CoV-2, it's going to go away anytime soon. It's not going to completely disappear, and I'm already reading things about how it might become embedded into our population in the same way that, for example, HIV is. So I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, and I think it has left a very strong imprint and made very tangible had a very tangible impact on life as we know it all around the world. I really can't say that I have any idea for what life or what the world's going to be like once we are all allowed to move around a little more freely. I just think that it's going to be very, very different, and we're all going to have to learn how to get along with each other much more harmoniously with much more respect, because everyone's existence, everyone's safety, everyone's health is at stake. And if anything, this virus has taught us how completely interdependent and how completely related we are. People always talk about the 6 degrees of separation between each other, or 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. And this virus has shown just how closely connected all of us are, and what kind of responsibility we have towards each other's welfare and for each other's health and safety and well-being. Before I go today, because I've been rambling a little bit, I thought I would take the time to answer a question that has been asked of me previously, which is, why did I decide to become a nun? I answered this briefly during the Wesak Day teaching, Wesak Day sharing that I gave last week on Thursday, but I thought that I would go into a bit more detail today. As I mentioned previously, I first made my request when I was 16. Rinpoche had sent me to South India on pilgrimage, and at the time we went to Gandin Monastery, Gandin Shatse, and then also visited a few other monasteries. And we happened to visit an anigomba, or a nunnery. And when we went to this nunnery, I looked around and I saw all the nuns there, and I really liked how they looked. They looked at peace, they looked secure, they looked self-confident, and they look happy. They look content. That's the word. They look content. I looked around me and I looked at all the people that were surrounding me. And yeah, I was only 16, so I was full of, I was completely surrounded by discontent teenagers, like teenagers, but also adults as well. And those teenagers were going to grow up into adults. And I thought, what is it that I am doing that's so different that will lead me to have a different outcome compared to the adults around me? Then when I looked at the nuns, they look completely different, to all the people around me. I'm sure that they have all their own personal challenges and their own personal ups and downs, but they seem to have found a way to deal with it in a way that generated less discontent and more satisfaction in life. And that is something that I wanted for myself. So I first made that request to Rinpoche, asking Rinpoche if I can be a nun. In fact, I was standing in the nunnery when I texted Rinpoche, because I was all ready to get my hair cut off and just become ordained there and then. And so I texted Rinpoche, and Rinpoche very kindly replied and said, come back to Malaysia and we'll talk about it, because I think Rinpoche realized it was a very impulsive decision. It would freak out a lot of people. I know certainly it would freak out my parents, right? That suddenly their daughter doesn't come back. I said to Rinpoche, yes, I'll come back to Malaysia first, and then I went back to Malaysia. And then a couple of months later, we travelled to Nepal. And while we were there, we had the privilege and the merit to attend a trance of Dorje Shukden in Kyabchi Dango Rinpoche's Ladrang. And during this trance, Rinpoche asked Dorje Shukden directly in front of me whether I should become a nun, if I should receive ordination vows there at that time. And Dorje Shukden said that I should wait and finish my higher education first and then ask again. I mean, what was I gonna do? What was I gonna say, right? No, Dorje Shukden, no, I don't want to follow your instructions. So I listened, and I went to university and did the whole thing, worked, had a long relationship, 4 years, did everything, and then I came back to Malaysia. I joined Kechara full-time, and then I asked Rinpoche again a couple of years later if I could become a nun. And the second time I requested Rinpoche asked me to wait again. So I waited again, and then a few years again after that, I requested Rinpoche a third time if I could become a nun. And this time Rinpoche accepted my request. So Rinpoche had all of us who requested to become monks and nuns take pastorship vows first before becoming nuns and monks. So that is why we're wearing white, is because we are pastors who intend to become Sangha, monks and nuns in the future. Why did I decide to become a nun? Very simply, everyone who has been kind to me in my life has the capacity to get everything that they want for themselves. So everyone who's been kind to me, has all of the financial resources, if you want to put it that way. They've got all the financial resources to buy happiness for themselves, to access material means of transient happiness for themselves. So there's nothing that I can really do, materially speaking, to pay them back. What I can do is act as a bridge for them to have future lives that are less suffering than this one. That is really all that I can do for them. Like I said, they have way more resources than I do. They're older than me, they're wiser than me and everything. So the only thing I can really do is act as a conduit, or act as a bridge, or act as a avenue or means by which they can create the conditions for better future lives, better future rebirths. That for me is why I chose to become a nun, or I requested to become a nun, is to repay the kindness of these people via these means, and also to repay the kindness of our Guru, His Eminence Kapji Sem Trungpa Rinpoche, because there is nothing that I can do to repay Rinpoche's kindness. There's literally nothing else I can do. Rinpoche being a bodhisattva, what can I do for a Bodhisattva? What can I do for a Buddha? You know, apart from transform, apart from change, apart from be of service to others. That is why I chose to become a nun. I hope that this answers the question that many of you have asked. I have actually answered it on my blog before, which I'll put a link to the blog in somewhere on this video. Then you guys can go and have a look and have a read of the article, and also have a read about the ups and downs and the weird thoughts that I had the night, the day, the week leading up to the pastorship ordination. I wrote an article about that as well, chiefly concerning my hair, of course. Yes, you can go and read that article. But yeah, I hope that that answers your question for why I chose to become a nun, and gives you a bit more background about like the request and all of that. I just wanted to say, because you know, as we're winding down and these videos become more and less frequent, more and more irregular, I just wanted to thank you guys again for having stayed with us for the last 40 to 50 days of live streaming videos, for all of your comments, for all of your support, for all of the sharing that you did for the videos, JP's videos, Pastor Nero's videos, Pastor David's videos. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and interaction and engagement with us. It's been really fun, and we all, I can't speak for everyone, but I can say for myself that I look forward to continuing this on the new schedule, which should be different and should be fun. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and don't forget to like the video, to share the video, to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and to like and follow the Facebook page, the Kechara Forest Retreat Facebook page and the Kechara Facebook fan page. If you have any questions, I am still open to questions in spite of what appearances may show. I am still open to questions, so please feel free to ask questions. And if you have any ideas for content that you would like to see, please let me know and I will shoot it for you. And I guess that's it from me for now. I'm here in gift building, still trying to fix my computer, still here in gift building. It's going to be a bit of a long night for me. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I will see you on Tuesday. Bye guys.